Hello, yes, and welcome to the Irish Abroad show for this Thursday evening. Apologies if you can hear a bit of background noise going. That's my work phone going off. Well, whoever's ringing, they can wait a couple of minutes, maybe the guts of half an hour, 40 minutes. Myself, Darragh Burns with you. Paul Tierney, as always. Paul's going to say lovely Thursday evening here, but it's actually clouded over a little bit here in Tipperary the last hour or so. And how the roles have reversed so often in this show last year was me poking jokes at you with Liverpool being streaks ahead of Arsenal. As things stand at the moment, Arsenal are probably planning a victory parade for the Premier League, while Liverpool are planning Tuesdays and Wednesday nights in the Championship next season.
Yes, yes. I wouldn't say a victory parade. Been a very good start, complete opposite to last year where they lost all three games. Bit of an easier fixture list so far. The tougher games will start to come in the next few weeks. But look, you can only be happy the performances were good. Saturday was a walk in the park, basically, and look, yeah, I'm happy, but like I'm not getting too in over my head. I still think the best chance of European football this year is through the Europa League. I think they should give it a proper good go and maybe go for one of the cup competitions as well. Because even the substitutions they were bringing on the other night, Tierney coming off the bench, Tomiyasu coming off the bench, and Ketia, like it's stronger than it was last year. And you've still got like Gabriel Jesus is going to want to play every game, so that's a good sign as well. Like it's a stronger team, and there's still players to come in. Obviously, Fabio Vieira, I think it is, whatever his name is. I don't know. It's Vieira anyway. He still has to be given a proper go. So yeah, look, happy with it, but also happy with the Irish involvement so far as well.
Yeah, and while we're talking Premier League, we might as well dive straight in as we always do with start our weekend review with the Premier League. And as I said, there are a bit more of Irish involvement than last weekend. I think we only had three last weekend played on the pitch, four this weekend, albeit one of them was the briefest of appearances from Shane Duffy. But Nathan Collins picked up a yellow card as Wolves as way for their first 3 points the season goes on after a 1-0 defeat away to Tottenham. Birmingham Live gave Collins a 6 out of 10 rating, saying Collins produced one excellent challenge prevent Son, even from fighting a rare pass when the South Korean was 1-on-1. He backed that up with a number of good blocks, but Collins switched off for a split second at the corner and Kane drifted in behind him to score the winner. It was one of them manic weekends with me in midweek that I only got around to watching the Sky Sports highlight clips on their YouTube channel last night. Again, I can't say it overly stuck out in my memory that Collins seems to be kind of a fall for that, but I suppose when they're trying to take in 10 games in the space of half an hour highlights clips, maybe some things might erase the memory. Gavin Bazuna and Southampton did. Just got a 42 notification there for the Champions League draw. Liverpool in the same group as Rangers, Celtic in the same group as Real Madrid. I actually thought the Champions League draw and finished work at 5 o'clock. But I switched into Irish Broad Show mode when I came home, but I'm sure I can catch up in the rest of that draw later. Gavin Bazunu and Southampton did pick up their first 3 points of the season in a 2-1 win away to Leicester. Unfortunately, I actually could not find any player ratings for this game from Southampton. Could you find anything?
Yeah, I got something off the Daily Echo. I'm not sure if it must be a down south paper, but they weren't doing ratings. They were doing more so. Well, they were ratings, but it wasn't numbers. It was like letters. So Bazunu
Yes,
got a
that's the
C
one I came
minus.
across.
Yeah,
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 that's the one I
C
came across.
minus.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I saw the goal. Okay, maybe he was poor for it. Like obviously our bias is going to creep in as well, but like I mean, he's probably faced twice the amount of shots of any other goalkeeper so far as well. So he is going to let in a few, and that Southampton back line is as dodgy as anything. So I mean, he's going to have shots beat him a lot of the time this season. But look, I think he's been good so far. They obviously have a lot of faith in him, and it was a good win for them on the weekend because they're being tipped by a lot of people to be relegated. But look, they've got to win. And look, United now on Saturday. I know United beat Liverpool on Monday, but United didn't have the ball, and United are better when they don't have the ball. So simple as they're going to have the ball on Saturday. What are they going to do with it? So that'll be an interesting one for Gavin and Southampton on Saturday.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to be kind of honest and hold your hand up as well at the right moment. You have to admit, like, take away our bias hats. He was at fault for the Leicester goal. I think he should have dealt better with. But I suppose you have to kind of remember as well, apart from international appearances, which don't often come that regular, he's going to be coming up against shots coming at him, balls being hit from a lot more quicker pace than League One. So it can kind of take him quite time. I think particular one that stood out to me straight away was the second goal that Tottenham got in the open day against. And I was just thinking, geez, he was just a bit slow to get down to. I was kind of thinking, well, the pace that cross, the pace the header is probably a lot quicker than what he's used to dealing in League One the last while. Yes, he's been exposed to an international level, But now it's going to be regularly as opposed to maybe 2 games every 4 months or every 2 games every 4 weeks in the start of the season. Then you have nothing from November to March. But yeah, like you said, I think overall in general, can't say he's been overly particularly at fault for any goals. One goal he has maybe been at fault for. They still won the game thanks to a couple of great goals from Che Adams. Like I said, I think he's done quite well. Bit of faith. Wouldn't worry one bit the fact he was rested. Wasn't even mentioned in the matchday squad in their League Cup game during the week. At this early stage in the season, Premier League teams, especially the lower league opposition, like to rotate. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Just continue on with our Premier League. Just two more bits of information. Shane Duffy came on as a very late sub in Fulham's 3-2 win over Brentford. The fact I think he only played on the pitch for a minute, there was no point getting the rating. I don't think anyone would have even given him a rating. That's 2 appearances in the league for Shane Duffy, both 1-minute substitutes, and we'll get on to in a few minutes. He actually did start for them the League Cup this week as well against Crawley Town. And finally, Mark Travers had a difficult day as Bournemouth were trashed 3-0 at home by Arsenal. So yeah, after keeping a clean sheet in his first game, it's 7 goals conceded in his last 2 games, but against 2 sides who are probably both going to finish in the top 5, top 6 this season. Dorset Live gave Travers a 5 out of 10 rating, saying powerless defence Arsenal's 3 goals, pulled off a good stop before the first, but was let down by poor performances from those in front of him. Could perhaps have looked to claim more crosses to ease the burden of the centre backs, but this is a minor point. Made several good saves on to prevent the Cherries from conceding more. So even though 5 out of 10 rating, it seems to be a positive 5 out of 10 as opposed to a negative 5 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at the two goals in particular, Odegaard and Saliba's. There's no chance of saving them. Odegaard blasted in from about 15 yards out. Like, there's no chance of getting near that. Like, he absolutely buried it. Plus, I think Travers was going the other way because he thought Jesus was going to hit it if you look back at it. And Saliba, I mean, right in the top corner, nothing he can do. Can't blame him on that. Bournemouth are going to have days like that, simple as. They're a weaker side, being tipped to be relegated also. Look, he's going to have days where he's going to get clean sheets against, like, you think the clean sheet was against a dodgy Aston Villa side. You don't know what type of Villa are going to turn up half the time. Gerrard's already being rumoured to potentially get the sack as the season goes on. We shall see. Yeah, look, Bournemouth will pick up points, but it'll be in certain games. And I don't think Mark, besides the 1 goal against City, can give out about those 7 that he has conceded in the last 2.
Yeah, I think even like the player ratings there to say like he wasn't helped by the poor performances in front of him. But like, let's be brutally honest, before the game we would have expected Arsenal to win this game comfortably. They're a better team. Like, so to say that the performances were poor against them, it's hard when you're stepping up from Bournemouth who've been a couple of years out of the Premier League against a team that has aspirations, who probably feel they should even be in the Champions League this season. So I think that's just a little bit kind of harsh. Like, at the end of the day, I think everyone kind of expected Arsenal to win that game comfortably. We'll move on to the Championship, and I can leave that to yourself now, Paul, if you want to give us a lowdown there from just the weekend this week in the Championship.
Yeah, just the weekend. So we'll start off on Friday evening. Andro Mavamdele got another clean sheet as Norwich beat Millwall 2-0. Dan McNamara also played in that game. He played 86 minutes, went off after that. Another clean sheet and a very positive start for Andrew, who's played every game so far in the league. Will Keane, James McLean and Scott Hogan all played in Wigan's 1-0 win away at St Andrews against Birmingham City. Josh Cullen and CJ Hamilton played in the cracking Lancashire derby between Burnley and Blackpool. 3-3 draw there. It's not Lancashire, that's Greater Manchester, is it? I think.
It'd be Lancashire, really, is such kind of like, yeah. I think Burnley might fall into Greater Manchester. Blackpool, I wouldn't think those, but yeah, if they would be kind of, I suppose, Lancashire. It would be a bit of a derby, like, we'll put it that way anyway. More than a bit, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, they don't like each other anyway.
Them Preston, Burnley, Blackpool, the 3 of them kind of, even Blackburn. There's not really a lot between them.
Yeah, no, not at all. Robbie Brady, another man in the match on Saturday. Another 0-0 draw, though, for Preston. Have scored 1 goal so far this season. Alan Browne, Troy Parrott and Greg Cunningham all playing in that as well. Obviously, very, very solid side, but just need to start getting those goals, particularly Troy Parrott. But look, Alan Browne usually gets in with 1 as well, and Robbie Brady also. Chiedoze Ogbene again on the score sheet for Rotherham, who had a cracking start since their promotion. He grabbed a goal at Loftus Road. Jimmy Dunn and Georgie Kelly, Sinclair Armstrong and Shadipo all played in QPR and Rotherham's 1-1 draw at Loftus Road. Shane Long, Jeff Hendrick and Darragh Lenihan all played in Reading and Middlesbrough. Reading's 1-0 win over Middlesbrough at the Majeski Stadium. Don't know if it's still called that, but we'll go with it. Sheffield United beat Blackburn 3-0 at Bramall Lane. John Egan kept a clean sheet for the Blades, and Sammy Schmodics played for Blackburn. Ryan Manning Ryan Manning and Michael Obafemi played in Swansea's 2-0 defeat at the Liberty Stadium to Luton Town. Disappointing day for Swansea once again. Michael Obafemi picking up a yellow card there too. A big day for Dara O'Shea. He was captain of West Brom at the Hawthornes on Saturday afternoon. He grabbed a goal and an assist as they trounced Hull 5-2. Jason Malumbi and Callum Robinson both involved there. And finally, Sunday morning, Bristol City against Cardiff City. Bit of a derby. Callum O'Dowda going back to Ashton Gate. He played for Cardiff, and so did Joel Bagan. He went off after 8 minutes, though, so not good there. They were beaten 2-0 by Bristol City. So, two main talking points. Chiedoze keeps scoring, and Dara O'Shea, captain of West Brom, grabbing the goal and an assist.
Yeah, great to see Dara O'Shea back fully fit. Kind of got a couple of runs. We've seen glimpses of him being eased back into it towards the end of last season, but he's been thrown in full throttle this season and doing really well. And West Brom as well had a bit of a slow start to the season. They've really picked up the last while a couple of really, really good results. Well, massive win there for Sheffield United, who have kind of seemed to put the playoff disappointment behind them. They've got a couple of good results this season. John Egan, of course, our sole Irish representative there at the moment, and Stephen Kieran Clark on the treatment table. And Blackburn, started the season like a house on fire, but done 2 defeats in the last couple of days against Reading and Sheffield United. I firmly brought them back down to earth. But yeah, again, it's Robbie Brady and Chiedoze Ogbene. They're grabbing the headlines. Robbie Brady with his brilliant performances, I think, definitely has to be putting his 2 hands up to be included in Stephen Kenny's squad next month. And Chiedoze Ogbene, really taken to life in the championship like a duck to water, and firm, certainly cementing his place, you would feel, in the Ireland team going ahead to them internationals against Scotland and Armenia.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to those as well, particularly the Armenia one. News from the Supporters Club today. We ordered bucket hats back in the summer. We're hoping to have them for the 2 home games then. We're getting them for September. We're getting them for the 27th. So happy days. We'll be behind the goal. You'll see our bucket hats just to the left-hand side from the camera. So look out for us there. We'll all be probably off our heads drunk as well. So because we're going to watch Armenia play football. So think of it that way. Yeah, that's it from the championship. Now we had a bit of a bare week in League 1 and League 2 this week, Jer. Surprising for League 1 as well, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I was just going through my research there, and as I said, I only really dip into them divisions if someone has done something, because it's not often. I know in the past we've actually picked quite a few players from League 1, but in general we seem to be kind of maybe drifting a little bit away from that, so there isn't much international recognition in them leagues. And yeah, no one doing anything in them leagues. League 2 has always been a bare league for us going back as far as last season. The Irish involvement doesn't seem to be as heavy there. There were plenty of Irish players who did play in both divisions, but again, the fact they didn't really do anything to overly stand out, we decided to leave that. So we're going to move on to the League Cup, and that was very, very busy this week. Loads of Irish involvement, and obviously one of the shock results of the second round was Crawley Town beating Premier League Fulham 2-0 at home. As I mentioned, Shane Duffy started that game for Fulham. I'm going to need your help here, Paul, because I made sure to try and get the pronunciation of his name. Completely slipped my mind during the day since the research. The young lad who played for Crawley Town.
Oh, I tried it myself. I can't say. I'm going
to give it a go. Ogun Ogbono. Mazed Ogbono. If someone in the comments can help us, that's my poor attempt at it. But hopefully, look, maybe it's a name that will regularly be popping up on the show of a couple of weeks with Crawley Town in League 2 that we get very much used to the pronunciation. So apologies there that we made a very, very poor amateur attempt at that. Moving on, 13 minutes after being introduced for his first appearance of the season and his return from injury, Adam Ida found the back of net for Norwich in a 2-2 draw with Bournemouth, as we of course now know in the League Cup. No more extra time, straight to penalties. Norwich lost this one 5-3 in penalties, but Adam did score his, so very much so a good return for him. Extra, United player Killian Phillips played 50 minutes on his competitive debut for Crystal Palace in their 2-0 win over Oxford. Of course, caught many people's eyes with a performance against Liverpool in pre-season back in July, but good to see him now finally step up in a competitive game, and Patrick Vieira was full of praise for the 19-year-old afterwards. And ex-Sligo Rovers goalkeeper Ed McGinty also made his debut in this game for Oxford United. It was a very good night for Anthony Scully. He got an assist and then got a goal as well. So I think the other way around. I think he got a goal first and then an assist later on. As Lincoln drew 2-2 with Barrow, they actually got the goal to force that game to penalties, and they won the shootout 3-2, which he also scored from. And we talk about the likes of Robbie Bailey possibly forcing his way into the squad he's another player that has to be on Stephen Kenny's radar again, because it's 5 goal contributions between goals and assists already this season, and we haven't even seen the month of August out. Despite scoring twice, another man on form, Ronan Curtis. Portsmouth were still in the losing side. They lost 3-2 away to Notts County. So after causing an upset in the last round to beat Portsmouth, or to beat Cardiff, they're now on the receiving end. But Ronan Curtis also really hit the ground running for Portsmouth this season. A goal made in the League of Ireland, because Darragh Burns got his first for NK Dons as they caused an upset, taking out Championship side, and recently Premier League relegated Watford 2-0 at Rickard Road. And I say a goal made in the League of Ireland because it was former Bohs player Dawson Devoy who got the assist. Seamus Coleman made his first appearance for the season for Everton as they bet Fleetwood 1-0 away. And then saw the show last night, Evan Ferguson, 17-year-old, on his first competitive start for Brighton, where he certainly made a major impact by getting an assist and then wrapping off a brilliant night with a goal towards the end as the Seagulls won that game 3-0. And it was also good to see fellow underage internationals James Furlong and Andrew Morgan come off the bench in that game as well.
Yeah, definitely. Just on Ronan Curtis, he got the goals against Newport, not Notts County. So I was just about to say as well.
That's right. Sorry, yes, Notts County aren't even in that competition because they are a non-league side.
Yeah. Two teams there who actually do quite well in cup competitions all the time, to be honest. So no surprise there. Newport did come back. Pádraig Gavin, a hero down there for his cup heroics in several seasons not too long ago. Now playing for Woking in the non-league. Yeah, you've wrapped up everything the League Cup, Ger. Brighton coming to Arsenal in the next round. Hope maybe Evan will get a start there. And sure, we know with TV companies, they like showing all Premier League ties in cup competitions rather than Crawley coming up against someone there to give them a bit of money. So that'll probably be on the telly, which would be good to see Evan, but kind of defeats the purpose of cup competitions, really.
Yeah, it's strange as well. Normally the third round of the League Cup takes, but I know obviously the Champions League group stage is more compact this year because they're getting it all done in November before the World Cup. But I was still very surprised to see that the League Cup third round isn't until November now. So it's a big break. Like for someone like Evan, it's interesting because obviously he made the bench quite a lot last season and came on for that appearance with 20 minutes to go against Burnley back in February. I was a bit kind of disappointed to see he wasn't named on the bench the last kind of couple of games. To be honest, I was disappointed in a couple of them games towards the end of the season. Like Brighton had not to play for. Why Graham Potter didn't throw on more? Like he was good enough to come on in one game for 20 minutes. Why not throw him on again? So that kind of found that a bit strange. But it's good to see now that he's proving a point to Graham. I would hope to think maybe he could feature on the bench a good bit more between now and that tie against Arsenal, which I think he probably will start. And Brighton, one of them sides, they've hit the ground running really, really well this season. They should really go after the League Cup as well. So yeah, and again, like with the 5 substitution rule this season, you think there should be an opportunity for someone like him. For James and for Adam, they seem to be a little bit further down the pecking order than Evan in terms of how highly he's thought of that club, but they're also 2 players that are well thought of as well. So very, very encouraging week there as well, and great obviously to see Adam Meada come back and make an instant impact, and hopefully he'll be involved in Norwich in the Championship this weekend as well.
Yeah, definitely, he definitely should be. Would really suit that league, and Norwich, like they missed him when he went out last year because they were starting to hit a bit of form, and he was a big part of it as well. So hopefully he can get going again. In terms of Evan Ferguson as well, the physique and the size of him. I mean, for 17 years of age, there's no wonder he causes hassle for defenders. He's massive, like he's just a handful. And like, I mean, if he's coming up against any of those Arsenal defenders, he'd cause a handful at the Emirates as well. Now he probably will play that game, because I think Brighton will do well again this season. They're an excellent watch. I've got to give it to them. Every time I watch them, they're entertaining, and you've got to give it to them. Danny Welbeck looks like a man reformed. Same with Adam Lallana as well, but got to give it to them. Fantastic stuff. Since you have Scotland and I don't, will I just run through Europe and America now, and then we can finish on Scotland maybe, or would you rather do it?
That's okay. We'll shake up the running order for this week.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, and a big start in Europe this week. Liam Kerrigan made his debut for Como, and after 8 minutes after coming on as a sub, he grabbed a goal in their 2-2 draw against Pisa. Fantastic for Liam, a player who I've interviewed in the past, a player who you've spoken and seen a lot of as well. Really, really good. Deserves that. I saw Como tweeted earlier that they're trying to get their Irish supporters, which they obviously have a few more of now, to help him with his new celebration, because they're probably expecting him to get a few more goals now after that. But fantastic for Liam. Was listening to him talking on LOI Central the other day, and look, very humble, fantastic player, and what a moment for him, Jer.
Yeah, 100%. Great to see. Yeah, I remember. I think the first time I seen him live would have been. I might have seen him in Sligo Rovers days. I can't fully remember, but I remember it was actually the first game back after COVID in 2020. UCD played Longford in the Bowl on a Friday night. It was actually pretty good 0-0 draw, and he was just a standout player on the pitch. That, and I just kind of came away from that game thinking, why did Sligo let this lad go? I know maybe there was possibly college commitments involved in the scholarship and everything else, kind of like that. But you knew he was a talent as well, and like to make the step up from only had half a season of Premier Division football, but I know he had a brief couple of appearances with Sligo, but that was quite a while ago. And even in the international scene, he's really, really making a good name and reputation for himself. And again, talk about making an instant impact when you're coming into a new club, new country. Fans probably wouldn't have known about him. I'd say a lot of Como fans would probably scratch their head, who is this guy? And probably maybe unsure and everything else like that. Talk about straight away probably being a fan's favourite and winning them over. So brilliant to see, and obviously as well, bit of bias in as well. He's a West of Ireland man. He's from Sligo, so it's always good to see because it's not too often we get many footballers excelling this side, our side of Shannon, I should say.
Yeah, definitely. I think with him as well, Mark Bircham is first team coach at Como as well, so he's well aware of
He would
what
have known.
Liam
I'd
can
say
do.
that was a big part in the transfer, like because he obviously
Yeah,
would have came
yeah,
up against him twice of correct last season. That cracking cup tie, and then the playoff. Albeit he wasn't Waterford manager, but he was still in the stands that night,
yeah,
or
yeah.
in the Waterford end anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, I was at the playoff that night, and whatever at the cup game, Liam was head and above man of the match in the playoff. He was unbelievable. He ran Greg Halford, every one of them. He ran them ragged that night, and they had no chance near him. And like, I mean, look, just deserves he deserves it, and fair play to him. And he had a good start for UCD as well this season. You know, he's well able to play at the higher levels. So, and the Irish under 21s as well. He'd be back for that playoff against Israel on the 23rd. I am looking forward to that as well. Got my ticket for that the other day in Tala. Um, we continue on anyway. Aaron Connolly got 12 minutes for Venezia in their 2-1 win away to Suda Tirol. Sounds like something to do with petrol or fuel or something like that. It's obviously not, but
I
it
hope it's
just
cheaper if
sounds.
that's the case.
Yeah, it probably isn't, but sure. Look, it just has that ring to it. Festia Basile didn't come on this week as Udinese drew 0-0 with Salernitana. I think it's Salernitana or Salernitian. It's one or the other anyway. They spell things weird over there. Zach Elbazetti was a sub. He came on after 56 minutes as AIK slumped to a 3-0 defeat to Slovako in the first leg of their Conference League playoff. Second leg is tonight. They'll have to get an early goal to chase that one. And last Thursday as well, Connor Coventry did start for West Ham in their 3-1 win at home to Viborg. He might get another opportunity this evening in the second leg of that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of involvement in Europe, and that's what we want to see.
Yeah, brilliant to see. Possibly looks like Zach flying the flag in the European venture from an Irish perspective looks like it's possibly going to come to an end tonight. But you never know; they could turn that one around. It's going to be a massive ask as well. And good to see with Conor Coventry as well. I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities for him to get game time this season. We've seen it already been used in the Premier League. Yet fancy West Ham are going to go on and make the group stages of the Conference League. There's going to be some pretty poor teams in the group stages, so I think there'll definitely be a chance there for David Moyes to rotate, give younger players a chance like that. League Cup coming up as well, as I mentioned, the five substitution rule as well. And yeah, good to see a bit of Irish involvement as well in Italy as well. And hopefully we might see a little bit more next week with Festi and James Abanker as well over the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Udinese, if you're looking out for it, BT Sport, 5:30 tomorrow evening, Monza at home. Good chance for the two of them. If you're not doing anything and you want to watch football at an unreasonable hour on a Friday evening, that's the one for you.
They're very good for that. They're very good for that, actually, Serie A in general. On Fridays and Mondays, they do double headers, usually 5:30 and 7:45. Like 5:30 on a Friday is an ideal time because everyone just be heading off work and heading to the pub. Now, I don't know, would barmen up and down the country be in demand to put on BT Sport to watch Serie A, but you could watch a lot worse content on a Friday evening. So yeah, but just in general, even if you're sitting at home, even on a Monday, even when you're feeling the Monday blues, and going to the pub is the last thing you want to do, and especially with winter coming up, it's going to be dark and everything else like that. So it could be a good opportunity to see the lads play a good bit more. We'll wrap it up now because I just have 4 bits of information from Scotland, unless you have anything further to add then afterwards, Paul. Jake, go on, sorry.
Just in the mighty MLS, John Gallagher played 86 minutes.
How could I forget?
Yeah, I'm telling you, Jer. I'm telling you, this is cutthroat stuff. This is in the MLS. I'm telling you, 20. I don't know how many teams, 28, 29 teams. Fair play to them, or franchises, whatever they call themselves. They were Austin beaten 2-1 by Minnesota on the weekend. John Gallagher did play 86 minutes. Look, he's played a lot of games this year, and considering how bad they were last year, I know we say it every week, been a proper turnaround. And look, I will watch if Austin get to. Well, they're going to get to the playoffs. If they get to the final, I will watch it. I will
You're
watch it.
just so reluctant to watch. You're kind of like, oh, if they get to the playoffs, to watch it. Oh wait, no, they are in the playoffs. Oh no, I back myself in the corner, and he just quickly turns around there. You're just so
Yeah,
anti-American
yeah.
sport. My destiny is to bring you on an all-exclusive trip to America for a week, and I just make you sit through all American sports.
Look, I wouldn't mind like ice hockey, and I would go to watch the football if I was there. But like,
Baseball is meant to be a disaster to watch.
like, there's NFL on in the Aviva this weekend. My mate's talking about it. Oh, 4 hours long. I'm like, come on, like get out, like 4 hours. Like I know there's a lot of breaks.
Even cricket should realise it's too long. They've brought out a version of a game that only goes on 3 hours. Like
Yeah, yeah. The 100. That actually, like, if I was into
100's
cricket,
even less. That's actually probably only about 2.5 hours. 2020, which would be 20 balls more, so 4 overs more than the 100 actually.
that's the thing. It's a good idea. Like, you
Yeah,
need to make it faster. I understand for the big internationals and the 5 tests, and they play each other for 3 months, whatever. But look, anyway, you
yeah.
crack on before we'll be
I love
cricket
how you say
abroad.
like, oh, I can't go watch a game because it goes on for 4 hours. Imagine you tell someone at home, I'm heading off to the cricket game now. When are you going to be home when it's over in 5 days?
Yeah, exactly. Look, I've got
Uh,
tickets for the whole thing.
Yeah, but even on the MLS, actually, I've been to an MLS game in Toronto, and I thought it was an absolutely unbelievable experience. Now, that's because my cousin's company had a box I had, so I got treated the VIP treatment, but it was brilliant entertainment, nevertheless. I think I told
Yeah,
the story on it last season, so I won't bore the listeners again, and I'll just
mm,
finish up with Scotland. Jake Doyle-Hayes was part of the Hibs team that twice came behind to draw 2-2 with Champions League Rangers. That must be a little bit of a kick in the teeth to Celtic fans because, let's be brutally honest, as great as it was retaining the league last year, the main motivation was because of guaranteed Champions League group stage football, finishing second. You had to go through 2 rounds of qualifying in the league route, which is very difficult, but Rangers have done that, so they kind of nearly cancels out not winning the league, and they're going to get the same prize money as Celtic as well. So obviously not going to take away the satisfaction of Celtic winning the league, but a reluctant well done. Johnny Hayes and Liam Scales, Aberdeen, got the better of Graham Carey's St Johnstone 1-0 in St Johnstone's pitch. Don't ask me what it's called. I know they play in Perth, that's all I know. Not obviously Perth, Western Australia.
I think it's called McDermott Park.
That's actually the
Don't
one
quote
it is,
me on
yeah.
it. Yeah,
I think
yeah,
you're right, yeah.
yeah,
Good
I
old
think so.
Irish name.
Yeah.
Alan Power played 83 minutes in Kilmarnock's 1-0 defeat away to Ross County. And Charlie Dunn got the better of his old teammate, Jamie McGrath, as St. Mirren piled more misery on Dundee with a 3-0 defeat. That's what I'm correct in saying that. Is that 14 goals Dundee United can see in their last 3 competitive games?
Yeah, an absolute collapse. And you compare it to Motherwell, who had the bad night against Sligo. They've kind of steadied it a little bit since Graham
3 wins out of
Alexander
4 is
won it.
pretty solid, like.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I don't know. They're in trouble anyway, and they need to get moving fast. And I think Jamie McGrath, if he gets going, they'll be flying. He's proved himself in that league before. Hopefully, he can find the form again. Because not too long ago, he was setting up goals for John Egan against the former European champions as well. So, got to think of that.
Nearly 12 months to the day. That's the 1st of September, actually.
Oh God, that was. Do you remember we done the live stream that night? That was a kick in the teeth. That was that was a kick in the teeth.
For 89 minutes, it was brilliant, and then
Ronaldo.
I actually thought for 89 minutes, well, not for 89 minutes, we took the lead until the 89th minute, so for a good nearly an hour, I suppose, if you include half time. I actually thought I was going to be doing my player ratings live from the pub, because I'm going clean straight to the boozer, and then it just turned into total utter depression.
Yeah. Oh well, look. We're getting there. Yeah. I don't have anything else to add. I think we've gone through everything this week. Disappointing to get nothing from League One or League Two, but
yeah, usually under normal circumstances we'd be normally coming towards our early season international break, but of course that's been pushed back this year. So we'll be back next week. Actually, it'll be full throttle because you'll have a double Premier League game week, double Championship game week, hopefully something from League One, League Two, and of
Hmm.
course we'll even have the EFL Trophy, which kicks off next week. So it's going to be
Oh,
bonkers. And if we really, really want to go the full three main course on it, you've got a double header of games over the English or UK Bank Holiday weekend in the National League North, and National League South.
oh, yeah. I tell you, it's getting sweaty already, and
Yeah,
we're only a couple of games in. Great, nothing better. What was I
join us
gonna
for
say?
a bonus episode next week.
Also, they should keep in mind to push this international break a bit back further. I always think, right, I love going to see Ireland, but it's far too quick. It's far too quick. 3 games in some of the divisions, 4 in some. Like it's far, they're not even fit yet. Like this, like you'll see it now in September. They'll come back and at least they'll have a decent run of games under their belt. Whereas, like, you think, like, they've had, like, okay, the championship teams might have had 6 or 7, including the cup games, but the Premier League teams have only had 3. And, like,
Yeah.
they're still not
Remember,
100%. But, like,
but you remember the COVID season 2 years ago? They actually played a round of international games before the domestic leagues even came back.
yeah. Oh,
Stephen
disaster.
Kennedy's first 2 games, which again, it's nearly approaching 2 year anniversary as well. But we've just hit over the 30-minute mark, so I think we've, like I said, we've gone through it all there this week, Paul. Bit of a short episode this week, but like I said, I think we'll be back with an absolutely bonkers show next week. So thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Jer, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Cheers, and thanks for everyone for listening and watching. And of course, remember to keep liking and sharing the content. And we'll be back to you again next Thursday, of course, before the big game for the Ireland girls women's team as well, where they take on Finland in the Aviva. So we probably will actually be coming to maybe possibly even a slightly earlier time as well to make sure we get to see the full of that game.
Brilliant. Yes, definitely. Thanks, guys. See you again soon.